Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions JP, we've had EX jobs for 2 months now. I did a kind of an update video at 1 month, so we'll do another one here. And then I'm also going to add a tier list, which you can see here, where I'll try to explain which units would be the most worth taking to EX jobs, and then what level of EX jobs. But before we go through the units, I thought I would just kind of talk about general impressions. I'm still unhappy with how quickly this has come, but it hasn't broken the balance of the game. Of course, we saw in Asarato's Invitational Tournament, all of the top players were using all EX job units. But if you've seen my more casual arena videos, you know that most teams, they have 1 or 2 EX job units, and then if you have 1 or 2, then you can win most of the time still. So except for the very high levels of PvP, it hasn't been upset too much. And then PvE, if you've seen my videos where I've gone against 3-star Esper fights, those have not been too upset either. You can still go through with level 99 units or lower rarity units, so yeah, balance is still being maintained. And then looking at Yuna at level 120, she's pretty much the best unit in the game. But she's not unbeatable, as we've also seen in other videos that I've put up. As for myself, I have about half a dozen units at EX jobs, and then I found in those 2 months, that's been enough for me to, pretty much do everything that I want to do. You should take that with a grain of salt, however, because I have lots of other 99 units, and then I also have a lot of 99 UR vision cards, and that probably has a lot more influence than EX job units might have on my account. Another thing to kind of keep in mind as I give my impressions is that I'm concentrating on legacy units, or units that were released without EX jobs, rather than really going for new units. Really, the only new unit that I've built at all that got EX jobs at launch was 9S, and that was the handout unit. But I was able to get him to level 115, job level 22, without too much investment, I felt like. It felt about as hard as getting an old unit up to level 89, a limited time, pre-EX job unit. There's all the bingo boards and the hard quests and login bonuses and stuff, so it didn't feel like a super heavy lift. It was also helped by having lots of rainbow Mog medals, however, to turn in for soul orbs and stuff. And so I feel like, I think free-to-play users, they'll be able to get brand new UR units to level 79 fairly easily. I think that's how it's set up. With a bit of a push, you can get up to 89, and then anything beyond that will be more of a major push. But lots of opportunities for soul orbs, so once you do push to level 99, then you get a little bit of help with the EX jobs, so the cost is not egregious, I would say. I feel like it's just higher overall, but it's not twice as much as it was before. But yeah, my old mantra of you don't want more units, it also kind of holds true for EX job units. And yeah, you don't want to try to, do EX jobs for all of your guys. You don't want to just raise guys to EX jobs willy-nilly. You want to think about who you really want to use before you invest in them. Because yeah, it is a lot more work, it is a lot more investment. But yeah, overall I feel like it's being handled pretty well. Maybe the pacing is a little bit fast. We're getting on average maybe 2 new units every week or every other week, legacy units with the EX jobs. But since we're getting new units, brand new units with EX jobs at launch, I guess it's okay, the pacing. But yeah, overall, as for difficulty of the game, it's all pretty much in check. It's kind of at about the same pace as it was pre-EX jobs, but just the top tiers of PvP have sped up. One side note that I can talk about, I talked about this in the previous EX job unit video, but that was about Majin. Mayachin became very discouraged, and then he stopped putting up videos for War of the Visions for a little while. And it was for a few things. I think he maybe spent way too much money on the Bahamut banner and also the Yuna banner, and then he was discouraged by like how much more investment it would take to take new units to 120 in order to do proper reviews of them. And then he was also discouraged by the PvP meta just overrun with Yuna and Bahamut. But since then, he has come back, he's been making videos again, but he hasn't like addressed any of those issues that were bothering him before. So I don't know if he's still feeling down on those or not. His videos, I would say the tone is about the same as before, but if you look at the tone of his Twitter account, there's much more like complaining and like negativity on there, so I don't know if he's feeling like 100% awesome about the game at the moment, but I'll keep you updated on how he's doing. Okay, but finally, let's look at the tier list here. I did say before I never wanted to make a unit tier list ever again, but watch out, I've changed my mind again. The thing that's silly about tier lists is if you just go in there with like an ABCD value or like 1 to 100 value, because it's way too vague. There are too many situations where you can use units. But I'll be happy to do a tier list if I can specify the parameters or get it under a microscope and really look at characters through a very defined sort of limited viewpoint, because that makes it easier to rank them. And so the ranks that I have here, I'm separating them into 115 or 120, and then the reason why I'm doing that is because the max is 120, you get all the stats and you get all the abilities. But the difference between 115 and 120 is 200 shards, and that's half the price to go from 99 to 120. And if the stuff that you're getting between 115 and 120 is not great, then you can save yourself essentially half of the materials, and that might be worth it to some people, especially free-to-play users. And then again, just like with my vision card tier list, I'm differentiating between top and good. Again, there are no bad units, but some are better than others. But going from the bottom, we have Unreleased. We see Ayaka, Federica, and then Tsubuyaki. They will get their EX jobs next week in JP. I anticipate Ayaka and then Federica to be either in No-Brainer or in Top, depending on their abilities. So I'm looking forward to them. Next are fan-only units, Zazan, Etua, and Belo. Zazan would be easier to do, so would Etua than other units because their shards are so available. Zazan picks up a lot more Man-Eater, and then Etua picks up more status effects, so if you like that, you can use them for that. Zazan picks up an interesting AoE Man-Eater buff, so that could be a good support skill if you wanted to buff your other characters. Belo, he is a Knight, he is a main job Knight, so he'll get more breaks, but I don't know. I don't think I would use him just for breaks. Okay, next here we have good units to go to 115. And then all of these characters, I feel like their level 120 skills are not worth that extra effort. Eileen and Erude and then Christmas Ramada, they all pick up kind of range, medium range attacks that or some of them go in a straight line, but they're not significantly different enough that they really enhance the character. So if you wanted to take them to 115, I think that would be fine. Of course, Eileen, if you wanted to use her for Drain Force, if you take her to 120, she'll get way more HP, which is exactly what you want for Drain Force. So if you have a certain use case in mind, then go for it. And yeah, Erude and Christmas Ramada I really like, just overall. They're very strong attackers, but they're not top priority, I would say. And then Ododoa I love. I had this vision of using her in PvE to really break the enemy's TP and AP, but the amount that she would do was not enough to make it so that she could be a go-anywhere type of unit, so that was kind of disappointing. The skill that she gets at 120 is kind of weird, and it's not specialized enough in any one direction, so I think you can leave her at 115 if you do get her to EX jobs. Next we have good 120. These are units that might be worth taking the 120 if you are a fan of the unit. None of them will really change in the way that you use them. They'll just get better at what they do. But Mediana, she'll pick up like increases to her flare, more uses, lower cost. She'll get some spirit penetration and some spirit breaks. She'll still be paper thin, and she's still going to really rely on just like getting as much burst damage out before she gets taken down, but yeah, she'll be better. And in global, she might be a more attractive option because you will be able to get her shards from the Mog shop, so she'll be easier to max than some other characters. Yedema, this is just a guess because I've never used her and I haven't seen anybody use her. But at level 120, she gets her longest range attack, and that's kind of one of her biggest weaknesses. Before launch was her best range attack, but at 120 she picks up a new one, which has even more range, so that can help her. She's really good at projectile attackers. And then one of the best strike shots in the game, it will imperil the single target resistance, which is a very rare imperil to get on a character. It's too bad that it's on her limit break, so it kind of makes her a bit difficult to use, but yeah, I see a lot of potential in her. Okay, then we have a bunch of lower rarity units. Again, most of these characters you're not going to use in any new way, but Nasia, she becomes like tough as nails. She gets like AoE attack resistance and stuff. Better magic resistance as well, so that's something. Phoebe, she's still really good at support for your other characters. At 120, she picks up an AoE agility up buff, so that's very nice. And then Ol and Seymour, they'll continue being nice sub-attackers. They'll get better evade, some more status effects, a little bit more range as well, so they're okay. And then Liat, putting together this list and then doing like research on units, she was kind of the one that interested me the most. But already she had the Hunter and like the White Mage, so she's got like reflex and full life. But on her main job, Hunter, she will also get like charm and stop, so she might be interesting for class matches, for PvE. Okay, next we have top 115. These are characters that are excellent, that everybody should work on, but their level 120 skill is maybe not super inspiring. The thing about Mont though, with him too, his shards are really easy to get, so might as well go up to 120, but there's no need to go to 120. But it's just like a better break. But you know, he's going to be a tank, so you want more stats, more HP and stuff for him anyway, so yeah, he'll be great. But Stone Throw, that might be the best new ability that he gets with his EX jobs. But it'll get defense penetration, 100% hit, better range I think it was, and then also lowers move for opponents. So Mont is great. He's a top recommendation from me. And then Gilgamesh, he also gets really good with EX jobs. His Excalibur attack will pick up Dispel. That's insane. That's kind of a rare ability, especially on one that is so easy to use as Excalibur, that move and attack. And then Kotetsu will also be upgraded so that it will remove re-raise. So that'll make him a nice counter to like Yuna and then Halloween Naidu. His level 120 skill, however, is a TP skill. It's just a buff, and he can raise like slash resistance and stuff. I don't think that's super necessary, so being able to save yourself those last 200 double cost shards, that would be awesome, so yeah. It kind of reminds me of his Trustmaster. Like, his Trustmaster was not super awesome, so it was easy to recommend you stop at 89 with him. So again, we can stop like at 115 with him, and I think still get a great unit. And then next we have top 120, but all three of these units kind of come with strong caveats. First we have Jiza. She is excellent for one-punching Yuna, but if you have other dark units that can do that anyway, maybe like Kain or Dwayne or Super Stern, then you would need Jiza less. But yeah, I think everybody's going to want a one-punch Yuna unit. Next is Rob. I'm having a ton of fun using him, but also with caveats. If your account is really built for evade, that will really help him out. And then also if you go for Rob's card, that will also really improve him. If you don't have his card, he might fall under good 120, but with the card he'll go to top 120. And then 120 is important for him because he will pick up that Mediana limit break type of attack, which will really increase his range, and then increase his chances of like first strike in a PvP, which is very important for him. And then last for top 120 is Stern, and the reason why he is so important is because at 120 he will pick up a skill which will break slash resistance, just like Gilgamesh. And so if you already have some other dark units, dark slash units like Dwayne or Super Stern, you can build a dark slash team, which might be good enough to go to any raid at all, regardless of element resistances or attack resistances, because you'll just be able to break so many things that you can build nice chain with those dark slash units. And also if you have the Exorcist card, that will really improve Stern EX job as well. And then the top tier is the no-brainer tier. Christmas Mashiri, she is my easiest, best recommendation of all of the legacy units. And she compares very favorably with all of the brand new units with EX jobs. If I were to expand this list to include brand new units like 2B or King Mont or something, they would all fall under no-brainer or top 120 because they're all really good. But Christmas Mashiri, I would say she's still one of the best units in the game. Really high HP, really high defense, shows she's very tanky, she's a bruiser, she's got reflex, she's got 3 different types of attacks, slash, pierce, and projectile. She's got elevation versatility with both the vertical dive and then also the ranger subjob. Now with the Phoenix vision card, she has a vision card that's excellent for her. Great range, great AoE. Yeah, she's amazing. So whenever she does get EX jobs in Global, I can recommend her to absolutely everybody. Okay, so I think that'll do it for the tier list ranking, and then also kind of my thoughts after 2 months of EX jobs in JP. And then I'll do another one of these tier videos in another month. After that, I don't know, there might be too many units, maybe the list would become unwieldy. Alright, thanks for watching and we'll see you again. Take care.